And welcome back. The Canaries had their best comeback of the season last night with a walk-off home run by Clint Coulter. And less than 24 hours later, they have to face the Salt Dogs again for the final game in their 3-game series. And it is Father's Day. Shout out to all the fathers out there, especially mine. Somehow he's getting a motorcycle today, but we're going to get back to the Canaries. They started off in the first with a 6-4-3 double play, and after one inning played, the game is tied at 0. But that would change in the second because Canaries hero Adrian Nieto had a home run. This is reminiscent to what happened last night. Canaries, they would lead 1-0 after the second. Then in the 7th inning, things would change because Cody Regis gets an RBI, and that would cap off a 5-run inning for the Salt Dogs as they lead 5-1, and the wheels start to fall off for the Canaries. It came to a head for the Salt Dogs in the 9th as Daniel Herrera blasts a 3-run shot homer, and that would do it. Lincoln tops the Canaries 12-1. But hey, the Canaries, they still won the series 2-1, and they're going to face St. Paul tomorrow at 7:05, so you got to have a quick memory. And speaking of quick memories, the Legion Dakota Classic is coming to a conclusion today, and we have semi-final action as Pierre is taking on Fargo Post 2. And it was Fargo, however, they had the hot start as Chandler Ibach rips one into the left field gap, and that would drive in 2 runs, and Fargo, after one, leads 4-0. And then they kept the hot bats in the second, and that's Brant Kolpak flying out to center. That would bring in a run. They would find 2 more in the third, and this is getting out of hand. Fargo now leads 7-0 after 2. And they would just keep the scoring going. Pierre could do nothing to stop them as Fargo's Cole Haga blasts a 3-run homer to left, and Fargo would dominate the game. They reached the mercy rule in the 4th as Fargo, they top Pierre 12-0, and they move on to the championship. And there's no more South Dakota teams left in the Dakota Classic as Rapid City, they fell to Post 22 before this game 7-1, and then your championship matchup is Norfolk and Fargo. And now as we look at the Twins, they're trying to complete a comeback against Kansas City. They were down by 3 runs to start the 9th, but now they got it to a 2-run game. You never know what could happen. We will have highlights at 10. The United States women took on Chile in the 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup. They defeated Thailand 13-0 on Tuesday. They were looking to keep that hot start, and they capitalized off a Chile mistake, and that's Carly Lloyd who steals it from teammate Julie Ertz, and she hits the back of the net. U.S. leads 1-0. And then in the 26th minute, Tierna Davidson's placement on this corner kick is amazing, and Julie Ertz gets her goal. She is the wife of Eagles Zach Ertz, cough cough, the best tight end in the league. And then in the 34th minute, same play, same result, but different player. That is Lloyd. She gets her 2nd goal of the day as the U.S. they would go on to win 3-0. And Lloyd, she made history because with that goal that she scored, she became the only player to score 6 consecutive goals in 6 consecutive games. And the U.S., they're 2-0 in Group F, and they're going to face Sweden on Thursday at 2 p.m., and they are also 2-0, so a battle of the undefeateds. And the Storm, they hosted Bismarck for the final game of their regular season, and folks, this was truly a high-scoring affair. But in the first, it was Police and Firemen Appreciation Night in the Storm. They strike first as Nolan Sarcini gets the carry for the touchdown. The Storm, they're up 7-0, and then Storm, they come running back because Tasleen Wilson throws a rocket down the field to Eric Lauderdale for the touchdown. The game is tied at 7, but Lorenzo Brown doing Lorenzo Brown things, fakes it, and then finds a wide open Damian Ford in the end zone. 14-7 Storm. The Bucks, they try the air again, but Rick Rumpf says this is a no-fly zone. He gets it off the tip, and those are some nice hands because he has to catch it again for the INT to close out the first. And then at the start of the second, Lorenzo Brown finds Kent Shelby. That is becoming a terrific duo. In the Storm, they lead 21-7, and that would help them have a big night as they go on to win 65-54. They will play the Sugar Skulls next week in their first playoff game, and that will be at the Denny, and Brown had a great game, 4 passing touchdowns. And if you didn't catch it yesterday, if you didn't catch the U.S. Open yesterday, well, Gary Woodland was spectacular, as you see him right here. He makes this shot for birdie. Look at the placement of that ball. It just stops on a dime, and that's after the 4th hole. And then on the 12th hole, he makes it just look a little bit too easy. He's in a little bit of trouble, but he sinks this in, and he finished at 11 under on the day. Only had a one-shot lead on Justin Rose. And then things would get interesting because we're in the final round right now, and Gary Woodland is leading 12. Has a two-shot lead, on Justin Rose, and Brooks Koepka is roaring back. Him and Justin Rose are trying to catch Woodland. We